see position after line queen d6 with played Carlsen, but we can see also previous. So this line bishop b5, knight c3. Okay, knight c3. It's of course a possible move, but the most popular line is take on c6, and when black will choose with which pawn will take, black can demonstrate plan. So if d pawn takes, white usually like d3 and h3. And if b pawn takes, the bishop takes c6, white usually playing castle after bishop g7, rook e1. But okay, Aronian choose different line, knight c3, bishop g7, and now d3. Now d3. Okay, not so quickly, please. Okay, so it's very interesting. You hear me well?
Yeah, we do. So after d3, it was
d6
d6.
position. So bishop g5. Okay, it's very original move. Much more natural for me looks knight e4, but probably after knight e4, Carlsen wanted to play queen d5 to propose knight c3, queen d6 line move repetition. So Aronian is in more aggressive mood. So bishop g5, he is ready to sacrifice pawn. At the moment, white has better development, so it's, I'm sure it will be really interesting game. C takes d3. Okay, so
And he
I
captures
have
with a
a
pawn.
question. If it's possible, I don't need to see this evaluation of computers. So is it possible to close this?
I think you can close it in the settings.
In settings. Okay, but where is settings?
It's on the right, below the notation. It's like a little wheel.
Just a moment. So I have chart standings. So, but where is notation? Moves. Okay. I don't know how to, because I want to understand what is going on with my own head, not with helping of stockfish or some.
Or maybe
Something
you can
else.
move the window slightly to the left to hide it.
Slightly to the left, but how to
If you
do it?
grab the window and the browser.
I don't know how to do it. Okay, sorry. I'm technically it's far from strong. So how can I do this? Mhm. This is my download. It's share setting. Settings. Yes, yes. So I find settings, and but it's not show me anything.
Scroll down and you see show evaluation bar. Are you able to see that? You can
No,
click
no.
that.
It's empty. So it's empty screen. Only giving me choice cancel or save. But
Oh, so it's not loading then.
nothing demonstrate.
Save.
Okay, so okay, so
Yeah, maybe let's just try to ignore it and.
Okay, it's ignore it. So bishop g4, he played very natural developing move. So black is ready to exchange bishop versus knights. Okay, white still has good compensation. One of tactical points that after h3, bishop takes f3, queen takes f3. If knight f6, white has rook takes e5. And if queen takes e5, queen takes c6 is winning. Okay, of course, queen takes e5, it's blunder, but after rook takes e5, anyway, looks promising for white. But okay, very natural for black. If h3, bishop f3, queen takes f3, black can play rook d8. It looks logical to prepare knight f6. But anyway, white has compensation for the pawn, but it's not clear. Is it sufficient for fighting, for advantage? It looks like position more or less equal. Is it possible to follow games in other server, for example, follow chess?
Well, you can open it on the original website on Chess24 if it's easier for you. Uh-oh.
And Aronian played knight e4. Okay, now the most natural is queen d5.
Which, okay. Queen d5, h3.
h3, okay. h3 or rook c1, yes. So, okay, still black need to finish development of his pieces. Because of this, white has reasonable compensation for the pawn.
There it is, of course, queen d5, rook c1.
Okay, now we can see another game. So, Giri Salem, what is going on? So, which opening it was? Sicilian, bishop b5, but bishop d5 with check. It's called Moscow variation, as I know. Knight d7, castle, a6, bishop takes d7. Okay, at the moment, more popular line is with bishop d3 and then c3, bishop c2. Okay, bishop takes d7, a4. Interesting. Knight f6, e5, d takes e5, knight takes e5. So white is not worried about bishop pair advantage because they have c4 square for knights and also plan to play a5 in some moment and fight square b6. So e6, d3, bishop d6, bishop f4. Of course, it's possible to exchange on d7 and then try to play knight d2, knight c4, but okay, bishop f4. Probably it's still preparation because moves are quite natural. Bishop takes e5, okay. It's not only move, surely. Of course, black was not possible for black to play castle because knight takes f7 and bishop takes d6, white winning the pawn, but queen c7 was possible, like alternative. Okay, bishop takes e5. Now we have opposite bishop on the board, so bishop c6. Now the threat is queen d5 with double attack, so white need to protect queen e2. Yes, it's logical response. Now bishop is protected and queen d5 it's not so strong anymore. So
and then f6.
Castle a5. a5, knight d5. Okay, black preparing f6 and e5. So knight d2, f6, bishop g3, e5. So f3. You have this position. Okay, it looks like equal, but probably black need to be careful because if not play accurately in the future, pawn c5 can be weak. But with accurate play, black has enough contraplay in my opinion.
So how can they defend the c5 square? Is it like rook c8?
Okay, queen e7 looks natural, then rook ac8 or immediately rook ac8. If somewhere bishop f2, white will attack. Black will have idea knight f4 with champion knight e6.
Hi, Chucky.
Ooh, that's nice.
Something like this.
Very
So
nice.
I expect
Very
now
nice.
rook c8 or queen e7.
Oh man, this is great. Let's get to the next game. Yeah, this is awesome.
Okay, so what else? Duda Svidler. Okay, it's
All right.
quite sharp game. It's system.
Yeah, I think we have a little
quite
bit
standard
bad connection.
position. Already Rook. So it looks very bad for Svidler because he is pawn down and his king is quite open. And but okay, at the moment he had knight f3 check and to win the queen, but White has possibilities to defend. So rook f1, it's quite logical. Okay, the moves. King h1 is also logical. Just prevent against. Just prevent knight f3 checks. Okay, maybe black has some compensation, but I have feelings that it's not totally enough.
But it does look dangerous.
Oh.
Uh-oh, we lost him.
Lost him. Man, I'm getting free lessons over here, man.
Yeah.
Hold on. Where you go? There you go.
Vasyl!
Oh, man.
Vasyl, don't leave.
Calling people. Oh, no.
Yeah.
He's back. Yay.
So something very creative. Dubov played against whom?
So
Dubov is down? Against Dubov against So. It looks like Queen's Gambit accepted, something like this. Okay.
Right.
But at the moment I see that the white is piece down, but
wow.
There are quite unpleasant threats. Queen h6 is threat. So if bishop takes c5, for example, queen h6 check, and black has problem with king. So king g3, g3 is possible. So black need to be careful. Okay, so there are some logical moves. Queen f5, for example, looks logical, with idea to protect pawn h7.
Queen g6.
Now, if queen h6 check, king f7, and pawn h7 is protected. If knight e6, okay, king f7, take on d8, rook takes d8. So, okay, white has attacking chances, but I have feelings that I'm not sure that this is enough compensation for material advantage. Of course, white can play knight e6, knight take d8 in some moment, but objectively they are fighting only for draw. So,
maybe black can even play king f7 immediately.
Yes, king f7 also possible. Yes, but okay, king f7, queen e4, maybe it's. So rook h8 only move. Rook h3. Okay, maybe also possible then h5 somehow. But okay, queen f5. It's more simple way because white hardly have something better than knight e6. And but after knight e6, king f7 takes with rook. Okay, it's clear that only black can be better. So. Daniil was not lucky with idea to give two pieces against rook against Indian player and lost game. So queen f5 played Wesley So. It's very practical choice. Also, maybe king f7 was possible too, but.
To be honest, I don't remember any game where Dubov did not sacrifice at least a couple of pawns, and usually it's a full piece.
Okay, maybe he has ideas and he can suppose that such type of ideas it's more worthy to play in rapid chess or in blitz than in
to confuse your opponent.
Yes, but as I see, Yes, so he has quite a big time advantage. So 7.5 minutes against 2 minutes, but position, it's unpleasant to play for Dubov, so he needs to fight for draw. Okay, so what else? Artemiev, Hou, Yifan. So what is doing Hou, Yifan? So
this is crazy.
Hou, Yifan under...
All these pawns.
Okay, it's not crazy. It's quite normal position, but surely Hou, Yifan is under very unpleasant attack. And doesn't have a serious contraplays. White has many good moves. Okay. So f takes g6 is possible. Okay, and even some waiting moves it can be quite strong. So what opening it was? Trompovsky e6, knight d2. d5. Okay, as I know, in this position, the best for black is c5. And important to play c5 without h6, bishop h4, because if start with h6, bishop h4, c5, white has possibility e4, c takes d4, e5, g5, bishop g3, knight d5, h4, which was played successfully by Nikita Vityugov. So c5 immediately is more precise, and after c5 immediately, white need to play in more modest way e3, because after e4, c takes d4, e5, black has queen a5. I want to ask if there is any possibility to demonstrate variation on the board.
I'm trying to, but I'm afraid I'm too slow for your brain. Maybe if you are a little bit slower, you said if not at c5 immediately, but h6, bishop h4.
Can I make? I can. Bishop h4, yes. And if now c5, of course, white can play h3 as well. It's a normal move, but also they have an aggressive approach. e4, c takes d4, e5, g5 only move, bishop g3, knight d5, and now h4, and white has excellent compensation for the sacrificed pawn. It was played successfully by Nikita Vityugov. As I explained it, the difference is if immediately c5, white should play e3, because e4 now it's a blunder. After e5, black has queen a5 with clear advantage. So this is difference to play c5 immediately or after h6, bishop h4. Okay, let's see games. It's opening tricks. Knight d2, d5, okay, e3, c5, c3, knight c6, knight f3. Okay, I remember that Hou Yifan already had problem in this opening, and she lost the game against Pavel Elyanov. So probably Artemiev attract his attention during his preparation and choose this opening. So bishop e7, bishop d3. Okay, bishop d3, normal move. So white has standard plan to put knight on e5 and then play f4 and attack on king side. And after it's possible queen f3, queen h3, or a short castle and rook f3, rook h3. So it's very standard, and for black it's not easy to find a good way to contraplay. Especially important that knight already on c6, and if knight on b8, it's possible to consider b6, bishop a6, exchange bishop. Of course, not now, because without castle, bishop takes a6 and queen a4 is possible, but it's quite typical idea. But if knight already on c6, it's, I don't know even what is good plan can be for black now. White has quite easy play. Okay, castle.
So they played b6.
Yes, b6, yes, but bishop a6 is not threat. So knight e5, very standard. If knight takes, d takes, e7, knight d7, bishop takes. Okay, I can show you this. So this what is white is. And very active play in king side, and black has no counterplay. So I had this position against Ivan Sokolov with black, and I made draw in final, but during the game I suffered. I remember this. So it was game. So probably they are following my game. So something like this was played. A5.
So d5 happened, and then knight d7. This all happened in your game?
Yes, okay. Yes, okay. So white is much better, and we will see how Vlad will realize. So rook e3 logical, rook g7, now rook g3. Also, black has problem with their pawn on the queen side, and in some moment double attack knight b3 can be really unpleasant. Okay, so much better for Artemiev. We'll see Adhiban Firouzja. Oh, now it's end game, and Firouzja is totally winning. So let's see what happens. So Nimzo Indian, e3, c5. At the moment, c5 it's not a very popular move because white can play knight g2 and prepare a3. Okay, but Adhiban choose another line. So knight g2. It's according modern theory, the most promising line for white.
After c5?
Yes, exactly after c5. Because if after castle, knight g2 is also possible, but in that case, black playing rook e8, a3, bishop f8. This idea. And if e4, d5 is contraplay. After c5, knight e2, white is comfortably prepared for a3. Also, black's choice, for example, b6, a3, bishop a5. It's one of possible system which grandmaster from Lviv, Oleg Romanishin, likes to play very much with blacks.
Isn't it dangerous to put the rook on b1 and prepare b4?
Yes, but idea is if rook b1, knight a6, not allowed before. If queen e2, now
d2.
bishop b,
or
queen
c2.
a4.
Sorry.
No,
queen
no.
a4, okay.
Queen a4, it seems like before is threat. And now if queen e7, d takes c5, it's really unpleasant. Black cannot take with pawn, obviously, because bishop hanging. So knight takes c5, queen c2. Right. Now before is threats, and after take, white is better and well prepared for before. But idea of defense that queen a4 is not the strongest move because bishop b7 it's the best for black. And now if b4, black has idea bishop c6.
Oh, beautiful.
And if b5, bishop e4, attacking this rook, and then knight can go back. So white can.
It's pinned. Yeah, the knight is pinned. So yeah, the rook is hanging.
Yes, and also interesting line is knight b5 here, but cb, ab, knight takes b4, rook takes b4. And now if play directly a6, white can play check, king e7, queen a3, this. Okay, black has material advantage, but white has good compensation. But black has something stronger, so black can play just castle here, and white cannot defend against a6 in a good way. For example, if queen b3, bishop takes b5, c takes b5, and now queen e7. And if bishop a3, knight d5, if bishop d2, knight e4. So this is theory. According to this theory, queen a4 is not the best line, but very popular line, for example, here d5 is possible to play. Or another line is g3, and if bishop b7, d5, and if e takes d5, bishop g2, and then castle. So it's a lot of theory. Of course, b6 is not only a line for black. There are other lines. For example, c takes d4, e takes d4, castle. Okay, I will show you. But okay, it has no any attitude to game. So h3, b6 immediately. The most popular knight c6 line. And if bishop d3, castle. And if e4, this is theoretical line, e5, queen 5 check, king f1, and black cannot take on e5 because after bishop b2 they are losing the piece, so knight e8. And now if bishop takes h7, it's good for black already. So white need to play something like bishop b2, knight c6, knight f3.
Sorry, which moment is it?
Which moment? He played b6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I consider knight
you
c6.
mean already at the end, or?
Yes, but okay, so b6 was played. It's bishop b3, knight c6, e4. Okay, I don't know. Okay, e4, it's normal move. Knight e2 also possible, but anyway, white will play e4. So e4, d6, knight e2, and castle now. Oh, it was one funny story when Capablanca played bishop a6 against Zemish and lost a piece after queen a4. But okay, so everybody knows now.
And d5 here.
No, okay, yes, bishop a6 is a terrible blunder, so castle, and now bishop g5, it's logical. h6, bishop h1. Another standard idea is h4, but okay, probably exactly in this position it's not totally correct. And black can take on g5 and play knight h7, probably. Compensation for the piece, it's not enough.
You mean if they play d5 instead of bishop? No, which moment? Or e5?
h4 I'm considering for
h4,
white. It's idea ag, and then create mating threads on h line, but probably exactly in this position it's not totally correct. For example, takes, knight h7, if e5, g6, and okay, probably it's not correct, but it's at least worthy to mention. So bishop h4, he played e5, f3, rook e8, castle, g5, bishop, knight h4. So black has quite good blockading position, and white has problem with his knight on e2. It would be much better to have somewhere on e3 and then jump on d5. He played g3. I'm not sure that g3 good move. Probably bishop
yeah, it
c2.
looks like worsening the pawn structure a lot.
Yes, but okay. So bishop c2 is possible with idea bishop a4. But okay, g3, bishop h3, and he decided to sacrifice exchange, probably because he didn't like after rook e1, queen f6. It's big problem for white with pawn on f3. There is no good way to defend. And so here.
But is there any way to improve the knight instead? Somehow.
Yes, knight still on e2 against pawn on e5, and it doesn't look pleasant for white. So, okay, it's already.
Thank you so much, the Fred Liver Attack, for gifting 100 subs. Thank you so much.
Sorry?
It was just about the chat. Sorry,
it
Vasyl.
Was about the chat. Okay, so it's. He already win. Okay, so Artemiev already win. Dubov made draw already against So. We'll see So how it was? So queen f5 was played. So yes, this queen e2, and okay, black has many good moves, but bishop f8, it's not so natural, but okay, maybe possible too. Rook f3, queen c2. So because So was short of time, so he decided not take a risk and agreed to draw. Okay, with more time, I think Wesley So could try something like queen d5, and because objectively black has better position in my opinion. But okay, because queens are on the board, white has practical chances. So it's practical decision.
Yeah, and also Artemiev won against Hou Yifan, and
Yes,
this game that we are looking at, Alireza did win this game.
Yes, okay, Ding.
Yeah, shall we look at Ding?
Ding, it looks like dead draw. So king g6 now. Okay, it looks like dead draw, but okay, we can see what was before. So it's something like, okay, something like reverse Panov attack.
Yeah, they are repeating the move.
Yes, e takes d4. Okay, knight takes d4 is possible too. Bishop e7, knight e5, knight c3, rook e1, rook c8. Of course, much more pleasant for white. Piece is more active. Bishop g5. Okay. Bishop f4 also alternative. Bishop e6, rook c1, knight d7. So black is trying to simplify position. Also, knight takes e7. Okay, of course, if queen takes e7, it's quite unpleasant positionally for black, because white has standard idea takes knight a4, and after exchange of
sorry,
knight.
Which move is that?
I'm considering knight takes e7. Vidit played correctly, I think here. Knight takes e7, because queen takes e7, I'm considering, and this is very dangerous from positional point of view. So knight takes e7. Okay, white standard position, white still slightly better. Queen b3, bishop c6, but now not so easy to create something serious. Okay, knight b5 was possible. Queen a3. Okay, another move was knight b5 idea to take on a7, or if queen b6, knight d6 is possible to consider. So
and then just trade the queens?
Yes, but knight on d6 is quite active, and probably there are some tactical threats. Okay, queen a3 he played. It's also reasonable alternative. A6, knight d1. Original move. I'm not sure that this is the best choice. A little bit strange for me. Okay, so f6, and now, okay, now it looks like white losing his advantage, and position became equal. So knight e3, queen d7. Black can easily defend d5 pawn, and in some moment has chances to attack d4 pawn. So okay, so let's come back to Aronian Carlsen.
Yeah, it looks like there is some pressure.
Sheesh.
So knight d7. Okay, looks like Aronian is winning. Okay, at least he has one extra pawn and two pawns.
Two passed pawns, yeah.
Yes, but he is very short of time. So it's not so easy for him. So, okay, but position, it's very close to win. So rook e2. Now what to do? Problem. If e4, now he can take, and important that after bishop c4, white is winning with rook f2. If g5, knight e5. So black cannot play e4, so black cannot defend e5 pawn. For example, if king e6, white can just take. Okay, but now probably black has some chances for draw, but okay, it's very difficult to survive.
So maybe not take, but
if not take, okay, what to do? So if king d7, rook takes e5, and white has 2 extra pawns. So okay, what is
probably the
what
best.
they playing? So rook e2. What? He is thinking. Okay, it's very bad position for Magnus. Of course, so it's difficult to suggest something good. So okay, how it was before? We'll see from the start. From the start, I want to see if so we were here, bishop g5, knight, rook c1, he played knight f6. I'm not sure about knight f6, many alternatives like f6 or rook d8. Okay, knight f6 he played, knight takes e4. Okay. So exchanged queens. And,
but it was good for white, right, to get rid of this pawn on d3.
Pawn on yes, and in endgame it's more easy to play with white because all pieces are more active, especially if compare bishop g5 with against bishop g7. So surely black is in trouble. So
but maybe it was better to not to take on e4 then, and
okay, maybe, but what to do? So bishop f5 maybe, but yes, bishop f5 was a reasonable alternative. But after bishop f5, probably knight g3 it's unpleasant with some tactical threats. So it's not so easy, but okay, probably it's not so bad for black if just take on f3 and play rook c8 and with plan rook c7 next move. But surely much more easy to play with black. So black is much more easy for play with white. So this extra pawn.
Yeah. So regardless where is this pawn,
and now knight e1. I like this move because his idea knight can go to c5 and so
there is some development in the end game.
Yes, and black has passive pieces. So, for example, if you imagine that bishop g7 will be on d6, it would be much more pleasant for black. But bishop on g7 is out of play, and white has easy play: knight d3, knight c5. So, bishop e6, knight c5, rook c2. Rook c7, rook d1, bishop c8, knight a4. So white is attacking pawn. Bishop b6, knight c5. So that's very nice. Knight a4, bishop h6. And now he took the pawn. So it looks like a very good play by Aronian. And he is winning. So what is position now? Rook e7. Yes.
21-1-0.
Yes, he is totally winning. Yes. So rook endgame with a7 pawn, and black cannot protect the g6 pawn. So Aronian will win today. So congratulations. Not only with victory, but with a nice game.
Yeah, it's always nice to see the games of Aronian, and when he beats Magnus, it's double the treat.
Yeah, Duda, Svidler, Drew. Only one left: Gukesh and Arjun.
Who?
The last one, Gukesh against Erigaisi.
Gukesh, we didn't consider. So this is end game. Okay, it looks like something totally drawish. Opposite bishop, but okay, we can see from the start. What is this? d5, Rogozin defense. Yes, bishop e2, line which like to play Boris Gelfand, and also Vladimir Malanyuk played many games in this line. Bishop d7. This is all of theory. As I know, Queen g6 is main move in this position. This idea if Bishop
Instead
d3,
of Bishop d7?
No, instead of e5, Queen g6 is idea to prepare knight a5 and after Queen d3 exchange queens. So as I remember, Queen g6 is main move according to theory, but he decided to play e5, d5, knight a5, Queen d3, Queen e6. Okay, so if a3, black has knight b3 and then a5, a4, knight d2. So white wants to exploit knight on a5 to prepare a3, b4, f5 counterplay started, e4. Okay, I don't know if e4 it's the best move. More natural looks a3, if e4 queen c2 to prepare b4, if b6 for example. Okay, it has many ideas. Knight b5 for example, it's possible. But okay, he decided e4 also possible. Now a3, c5. So not b6 but c5. We take knight d5. So white has knight on d5, but black is fighting for d4 square. Quite sharp position. So black wants to push f3 in some way. For example, very primitive line. If rook takes d4, f3, and white cannot take with bishop because bishop takes h2, check and taking the queen. Okay, it's too easy. So bishop f3.
I'll still show to our chat. And
yes.
Queen takes. Yeah.
Yes. So bishop f3.
Discover check.
Queen e5, Queen a7, Bishop g6. Okay, white has one extra pawn, but it's not easy to realize. Not many material, black pieces are active, and black has chances somewhere exchange Bishop g6 to knight d5 and play with opposite colored bishop. Rook d3. Bishop c5. Quite standard position. With pawn up, but chances to win are not so big. Like exchanging, okay, it's draw. So they finished with draw already or not?
Yeah, it was a draw, and we have two leaders after this round. Aronian and Artemiev both on 4.5.
Aronian and who?
Artemiev.
Artemiev. How many rounds already played?
So it was a total of 5. So no, wait, was it 6? 6 so far.
6. So 3. How much have leaders?
4.5 out of 6.
4.5. Okay, so +3. Good.
So we will have an interesting game now in round 7. Carlsen versus Giri.
Oh, nice.
I think worth attention. And maybe Wesley So versus Artemiev. Then the leaders, Aronian is playing Erigaisi, and Artemiev is playing So. So for Artemiev it will be probably a very difficult task, playing with black against Wesley So.
Okay, we'll see.
So
how many minutes break between rounds?
It's 5 minutes. Oh, also Ding versus Firouzja will be very interesting. Firouzja playing was white. Who do you think is the favorite in this time control among these players, Vasyl?
Okay, is it online tournament?
It is online, yes.
Okay, good. So I would be happy to play there, but I don't know why they not invite me.
Yes, why did you not invite Vasyl? That question to the organizers. We join to the question.
Yes. Okay. So last time I was played last year. Okay, I played in Legend tournaments and also another tournaments which was organized with Chess 24 when played Gelfand, Vallejo, me, Shankland. It was quite good tournament, but then they stopped invited me. I don't know why. Okay, I have no feelings that my level is spoiled somehow. Okay, at least I would be happy to try again.
Of course,
But
it's just
they play in Chess 24, yes, or in Chess.com.
Chess 24.
Chess 24, I like to play. Chess.com, it's not so comfortable for me, but also is possible. Chess 24, yes, I would happy to play again, at least.
Okay, chat, clip and ship it. We have it.
Okay. So we are waiting, we are on the break, we are waiting next round. So how many rounds will be today?
It's a total of 5, but we will be covering 3 with you. So who do you think is the favorite here? So far we have Aronian Artemiev in the lead with 4.5, Ding and Dubov on 4, and Carlsen, Giri, So, and Duda on 3.5.
It's difficult to say everything is possible. So there are no clear favorite. Or probably I'm too much in such a tournament, but okay, there are many strong players, many interesting players. So, how many rounds left in this tournament?
Oh, it's a lot. It's a long tournament.
Long tournament. Okay, how many participants?
So it's 16.
16, but is it Robin? So 15 games.
It is it is a round robin. Wait.
So if round 6, so 15 games, so 9 round left. Right?
Yeah, 9 more.
Okay, so everything can be. Okay, so in each round we have 8 games, right?
Yes, correct. Yes, exactly.
It was 16 players, so I remember once I was in vacancy, but didn't play. I was the guest and for one day, and before next round, organizers asked me to make prediction of result of next round. 7 games. It was 14 participants. So I was very lucky. I wrote my prediction, and any result was correct, which I predicted from 7.
Wow. Genius.
And it was quite not easy to reach any result not guessed correctly.
Was there any surprise result?
Okay, I don't know what is logical result, but okay, any result was not correct according to my prediction in that time.
Must be hard being a genius. Must be hard.
Is it hard to be a genius?
I don't know what is hard.
Nice.
Very nice. Difficult question. What is?
That was great.
What is geniality? So it's not only number of points. If to speak about genius in chess, it's not only points or titles. It's important.
Can you name some of the maybe underestimated geniuses, like
underestimated geniuses?
Maybe those who did not reach the very top, and you think that they should have?
Okay, maybe Karl Schlechter, for example, or Akiba Rubinstein, or David Janowski from past history of chess, from modern, I don't know. Maybe Morozevich.
Okay.
Or Shirov.
Yeah, Shirov is crazy. Shirov's so good.
True.
Well, game started.
Yeah, the game has started.
Okay, so how I can look them?
They should appear on the right in the same window.
Magnus.
Right.
Round 7.
Round 7. Yes.
Yep.
Okay, but I see some. But I see that end of round 7. How I can choose round 7? Sorry, I'm not expert.
If you refresh the page, it should appear.
I should refresh. Okay, so I will refresh. Round 7. So Aronian leader playing with white. So okay, it's standard position, so nothing new. It's theoretical position from Catalan opponent. So okay, so Vidit. Okay, it's also theoretical position. Okay, H4 maybe. Rook A7, A3, Queen D8, H4. It's quite original. So Vidit with white, Gukesh with black. So H4, H6. Okay, H6 probably black wanted to prevent knight G5. Right. If bishop E7, probably white wanted to play knight G5, sacrifice pawn, but open line for H for rook, and then try to attack in king side. So H6. Okay, now probably. Okay, white has choice, so white still can play with short castle, G3, bishop G2, and also possible plan G3, bishop H3, exchange bishops. Or another plan is it's more sharp plan to play with long castle, and then if black will make short castle, try to prepare G4 with rook G1, G4, something like this. Okay, it's
yeah, I like that.
Flexible move. Okay, probably he wants to play in some moment, but okay.
Yeah, and also quite an awkward rook on A7. It's hard to bring it back into the game.
You hear me well? Because it was connect, something like this.
Yeah, there was.
So Queen C2 is flexible move, okay, but I cannot see any serious problem for black. So knight D7 is possible.
Yeah, but what do you do with the rook on A7?
Okay, rook on A7.
C5, rook C7.
Or C6, okay. At the moment, I think it's more important to play knight D5 to prepare if E4, D takes E4, and then knight to put on F6. But okay, maybe white has idea. Maybe after knight D7, maybe he wants to play G4.
Yep.
Wow.
Definitely.
If bishop takes G4, knight takes D5, and it's very sharp game, but I'm not sure it's so good for white, but it's possible. If after G4, knight F6, white can consider G5. If pawn takes, knight takes G5 with idea to attack. So it will, if game will continue in this way, it will be really creative.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is going Firouzja Ding? So c takes d5. Okay, some knight takes d5. Okay, more or less symmetrical position. What was open in London system. But now knight d2, queen b6, rook b1, bishop d6. So Ding wants immediately to exchange bishops. D takes c5. Okay, so black playing more flexible than Hou e5. So knight still on b8, and probably if white plays solid, something like bishop g3, black can think about plan bishop d7 and then bishop b5, exchange bishops. But d takes c5, it's more concrete play, c4. So pawn is changing. It's symmetric, more or less symmetrical structure. Okay, position is about equals because knight on c4 in this position not so active. Okay, so Hou e5 against who?
Adhiban.
Against Adhiban, so it's something like.
Oh, finally Spanish. Ruy Lopez.
Yes, Spanish Archangelsk variation, something like this. Okay, let's see.
This is interesting.
D3, but okay, D3, it's of course it's not the sharpest continuation for white, so usually A4.
Yeah, quite a waiting move, d3. White probably still considers to play d4 at some point, right? But maybe she wants to prepare
okay,
it with...
she played d4, but okay, she lost them, so okay, position is more or less equal. White is not pretending for advantage. Okay, so white can play against b5 pawn, but c pawn and is weak too. Okay, now very standard plan for black is play rook b8 and then bishop c8, bishop d7. So bishop, surely in this structure, bishop on b7 already have no perspective, so bishop c8 is correct, but not immediately. It's not possible because a takes b5, so rook b8 looks like the most logical move case. Okay, so what else? How to see?
Yeah, we can
Carlsen
look at...
against Giri. Carlsen against Giri. Okay, quite a typical position. He played b4, and for modern chess, it's quite typical plan. If h3, black is. If knight h6, there is idea to push d4, and if takes, knight f3, black white has excellent compensation because knight on h6 is very bad. But for modern chess, it's very common idea to play f5 in this position. If take knight fg with attack, if e takes f5, okay, there are two ideas. One idea, take on f2, for example, and bishop takes f2 and bishop takes f5, and this idea d5 utilize king on f2. It's one idea. Another idea is something like knight h6, if g4, knight takes f5 and bishop takes f5, sacrifice piece but try to attack. So this is quite typical idea for modern chess, but Carlsen didn't even try to play h3. He played b4, so he just ignored activity of black in king side, so he wants probably to play b5 in some moment. But okay, at the moment b5 it's hardly threat, so he played f5, bishop b6. So what is his idea? Okay, difficult to understand. So I really was impressed. I have seen Carlsen played against Svidler, and in neither variation he played b3. I have never seen such a move. Really was impressed that Carlsen played this. But what he wants now, it's not easy to understand. So he doesn't play h3, not create weakness in his king side. Okay, but what is his plan? Okay, if black playing something like bishop d7 or what, it's not easy to understand.
Maybe he wants to move the bishop to c2 to play.
Okay, but bishop on b3, it's quite a good position. I'm not sure that bishop on c2 is better. So, okay, now, but okay, it's playable position. Probably white wants to play simply rook b1 and then b5 somewhere. Immediately b5 doesn't work because AB, bishop f2, check, and rook is hanging. So, but okay, black has choice, it's playable position. So I expect bishop d7 or probably queen e8 with idea to transfer a queen to h5. It's possible. Okay, it will be a really complicated game, I hope.
Yeah, we can come back to it a bit later.
Surely we can and we will come back, surely. So
shall we look at Salem versus Duda?
Salem versus
Salem was
Duda,
playing some
okay.
really sharp games yesterday.
Yeah, correct.
Good for white version of isolated pawn because it's possible to start attack. So okay, so knight e4 is promising. Black need probably to take. Queen takes. Queen h7 is threat. So after f5, queen e3. And then bishop a2, so white has pressure against e6 and more pleasant position. Okay, so what was in the opening? It was a line which was played in match Karpov against Polugaevsky, and Salem utilized same ideas which Polugaevsky played. But he started with bishop b1. So a3 played Polugaevsky, but after a3, it's important that after a3, black can play bishop a5, and if now bishop b1, it's possible immediately attack pawn d4, or after takes first and then play bishop b6. So this is idea of this system for black. So bishop b1, it's a very creative move. And okay, so queen e7. So, bishop d3, h6, bishop b1. Queen e7. Okay, queen e7. Okay, black has many moves, of course, but not easy to play. For example, if b6, to develop bishop knight e4 is possible. This idea, if takes, white has this trick and winning double attack. So black must be careful with h7. So he played queen e7, queen c2, yes, rook d8, a3.
Yeah.
And now black took on d4 because if bishop a5, they will.
Yes,
take on
but
c5.
also possible, in my opinion, just take here, and if pawn takes b6, it looks like logical, this idea, bishop a6 and rook c8, but I'm not sure about e4, okay, because it's principal way. For example, if black take, it's okay. Also after take, e5 is very good, because after d3 it takes f6 is possible, but I wanted to demonstrate this line also. e5, and if knight e4, bishop e3, and white was winning because black cannot protect his pieces. But okay, it's this line is possible, but surely not forcing, because now e5. But okay, e5, probably white has concrete way. Knight takes, and f4, yes.
Oh yeah, that's GG. E5.
Yes, and e5 is coming, and it looks unpleasant for white. So for black, really unpleasant. So probably because of this, he could not realize this idea. So after bishop c3, b takes c3. White has excellent attacking chances. But okay, probably black can play immediately e5. This looks logical to open bishop c8, not allow e4 anymore, and in future black can play bishop g4. Probably this was logical alternative, at least for black.
They do have knight e4 on the board and f5. So f5 hitting the queen. So now it's up to...
Okay, so it was, in my opinion, bishop takes c3 and e5 was quite reasonable alternative for black. Okay, so Svidler against Dubov. Okay, it's quite standard position from one variation of Rossolimo. Nothing special was happened. So white usually play in future queen d1. Okay, he played d4, however, immediately. Okay, after d4, black can consider c takes d4, c takes d4, knight d7. Like option immediately attack. If queen d1, e5 is possible, for example, with idea to occupy d4 square. Although after d takes e5, knight will come to c3 d5, so it will be quite interesting game. Of course, black always need to follow e5, but for example, if now to play knight d7, if e5, c takes d4, it's good for black, I think. This knight b4 and the take on e5. So it's a more, but e5 it's something which black always need to follow. But okay, it's, in this position it's nothing special. Okay, so. So against Artemiev. Many moves is played. So what was opening? G3, knight c6, knight f6, knight c3, d5. Okay, d5. Of course, it's possible move, but according to theory, the more solid way for black is to play d6. For example, castle, play a6. If d4, just take, play bishop d7. Or instead of a6, bishop e7 is possible. This same idea. If d4 now, it's just take, castle. So it's solid plan. d5, it's a more risky plan because after d5, e takes d5, white bishop g2 became more active. Also, black has some active possibilities. Bishop can jump to g4. C takes d4. Okay. Bishop...
Is white afraid of d4 by black?
Yes. Okay. But maybe afraid of d4, but also... Okay, d4 it's logical move because white won to develop his bishop and to reach isolated pawns, so he was lucky. But bishop g4, it's concrete play, and okay, now the most natural looks for white queen d3, of course. And then if bishop c5, bishop e3, something like this can be.
Oh yeah, and play on the ISO.
Bishop b6, castle, more or less normal position with isolated pawn. In future, black can think about knight e5 or bishop h5, bishop g6, such ideas. Okay, but f3, okay, it's a little bit, it's move with tempi, but
worsening the pawn structure.
Yes, and bishop is closed. Okay, bishop b4, castle, bishop takes c3. If not take, white can play knight ce2 and then play c3. So this, but now, okay, white has strong bishop. So knight takes e6, queen takes e6. If pawn takes c4, looks very logical, and white has good perspectives for their bishops. So queen takes e6 with tempi, rook e1, queen d7, bishop g5. Also now c4 looks interested if d4, bishop g5, but okay, bishop g5 immediately. So white has quite a good position because rooks of white are much more active than black ones.
And also after f4, the bishop will come back into play.
Yes. Okay, f4, he need consider knight e4, but after knight e4, there are many moves. Even rook takes b7, probably possible. Okay, so after the opening, so has advantage. I can say so. What else?
So it's all because of d5?
Giri, we need to come back. So Giri is still thinking. Oh. No. Bishop d7 he played. Rook a2, queen e8. So this move I predicted. So he played this. So rook a2, and now the question what will play Magnus. So
f1, knight g3. Jeez.
These rooks.
Knight g3.
It's not clear. Okay. There are many plans, but e takes f5 and knight e4. It's possible plan, but okay, here it's necessary to consider. Now he can take with rook. This probably was hidden reason of rook a2, because if takes with pawn, black has some ideas with rook takes f3 and queen h5. I'm not sure.
Wow.
Okay, maybe immediately it doesn't work because king f1, if check king e1, and if check on c3, bishop d2, and bishop is protected, so probably it doesn't work immediately. But okay, so also black can play queen h5, probably with idea rook takes f3, and this is
so maybe white needs to play knight g3 to prevent it.
Yes. Okay. It's difficult to say. Okay, computer suggests rook e1, but okay, computer has no any fear. So okay, it's possible idea, but what? We have this on the board, so surely he will play knight e4 here. And also after bishop takes e4, white can consider take with rook. Okay, it's very sharp and interesting game. So what about Aronian? So no. What we have? Bishop. Rook fc8 he played. So because usually they are playing theoretical move rook fd8. If knight d4, rook ac8, knight b5, b6. If knight d6, rook c7. This is theoretical line. White is slightly better, but nothing special. But Aronian played rook fc8, very original move. So he provoking his opponent to take two pieces against rook. So Aronian playing in Dubov style. And now rook d8. Surely it was preparation. It's hard to believe that in such famous position he discovered this idea over the board. So
and we can see that Aronian is much better on time.
Yes. So it was his home preparation. Very original idea. So rook d8, okay, plan of black utilize. So if white exchange rook, so rook takes d8, rook takes d8, rook will penetrate to d1, and then black will try to play against this weak pawn. So rook d2, white wants to exchange.
And knight e5, so now we cannot take because the rook has to be defended.
Of course. So he has one pawn, but okay. So
that's why knight b3 to defend the rook again.
Yes, f4, rook c8, e4, d6. So white play quite reasonable. Knight c6, king f8, king f2, king e8, bishop e4, rook c7, g4. Okay. The rook still passive. If you imagine that rook somehow somewhere on a3, black is good. But now
Arjun looking good.
it's not easy to understand how to activate rook. Indian player doesn't allow.
Yeah, after knight d4, this knight is defended so many times.
Yes, bishop c6. So white is fighting for the against black rook. So Indian player playing very interesting, and he has better chances. Okay, a6, b5.
And of course, black king could have come to like b6, but it's too long to attack
So
this bishop.
Aronian in serious trouble, it looks, surprisingly. So he created a new idea in opening, but probably idea is not so good, or probably in late moves he was not so precise, and now okay, white has good winning chances.
And king b4. So now takes a rook f8 easy.
Okay,
so
but black has chances for survive too. For example, if king b4, so he wants takes and play rook f8, and then rook f4 is coming. So it's not so easy. It was played.
Oh, the white king is going on a vendetta.
Yes, and now, but finally, black has quite active rook, so now they can consider move like rook f2, rook f4. So, okay, white is better, of course, because a6, b5 pawn are weak, and white king is very active. But okay.
But they need to save this pawn on a2 now.
Yes. But okay, rook f2, a3. So Aronian is in trouble, so he is fighting for draw. So what about Firouzja? Oh, pawn on h3.
Yes, it's a very Lila Alpha Zero move.
Maybe just
okay,
that's
so
kind of annoying,
for practical reason, dangerous for white.
Jeez.
Okay, so Hou Yifan. So looks like bad position for Hou Yifan, because knight on f4 very active. Black has many threats. So somewhere queen g5 is threats. Also rook b4 can be threats. If knight from c4 going somewhere, it's okay. Now rook b4, it's bad position for Hou Yifan surely. Okay, so Artemiev. So he played. So already endgame on the board. Okay, black to move. Okay, can take the pawns. It's very close to draw already. So he didn't play f4. After queen f5, he played something else. Let's see what he played.
h4.
h4, okay, less natural move. Okay, h6, g4.
Wow, very sharp.
Yes, he won the pawn, but okay, black has active pieces and some counterplay.
Yeah, so the pawn on d5 was pinned.
Yes, it looks close to draw. Okay, what about Carlsen? Oh, okay, this is very interesting. So he played knight f1, surprisingly for me. Knight e4 looks much more natural, but he played knight f1. Bishop e6.
So instead of this, he played knight f1.
Bishop e6 normal move. Black avoid knight g3 with tempi, and in some moment preparing rook takes f3 idea. b5, bishop b3, queen, knight e7.
Yeah, so bishop's off the board. But this diagonal is still weak, right? Because the queen is now on
Yes,
d3.
but he blocked bishop on a7 and trying to attack e5 pawn. Okay, knight g6. Okay.
c4.
Okay, it's a very, very sharp game.
Yeah, this is very interesting game.
So it's even difficult to say who is better. Okay.
And Carlsen and Giri are both on 3.5 points, and if one of them loses, he's on in danger of being eliminated because only 8 players will advance to the knockouts.
Okay. Okay, but queen d7 looks the most natural move. Avoid the pin. Okay. I see computer even not consider such a move in the first 3. So queen f7, knight f6, and but ab and then queen d7. But my idea is queen d7 immediately. Okay.
What is the difference between queen d7 immediately and take a takes b5 first?
I don't know. Probably in some moment, computer afraid b takes a6, but it doesn't seem to me like a threat. Okay, I don't know. So personally, I would play queen d7 in this position. Okay, we'll see what will do Giri. Okay, so this is game really interesting. What is Dubov? It's already end game, and Dubov has extra pawn. How it was happened?
How is it even possible that Dubov has an extra pawn with all the sacrifices he does?
It's possible. Everything is possible in our life. d4. e5. Okay, I explained that this is bad move, and Svidler. d5. What is this? I don't understand.
d5. You take d5. Take
d5 here. Oh, wow.
d5 up. White has idea if d takes e5 to play bishop d2, attack knight, some threats.
Yeah.
Very original. Okay, because I expected solid move queen d1 in this position. White has good position, but okay, Svidler has tactical. Probably he expected d takes e5, bishop d2, and probably he just missed d5. It's totally possible because now White should take on d5, no choice, and knight takes e5. It's obviously that White is in trouble. So Svidler was attracted to a very interesting and original idea with e5 and then bishop d2, and just missed the d5 trick, and now he is really suffering. Okay, he lost the pawn e5, and he is fighting to draw. Okay, he still have chances to survive, but it's a difficult position. Okay, bishop b4. I expected to block the pawn, but okay, it's really unpleasant for Svidler. After bishop b4, okay, probably even bishop g7 is possible with idea bishop f8. Okay, many possible. But okay, it's still, I cannot claim this is winning for Dubov, but at least good winning chances. So Salem, okay, Salem is much better, probably winning. Position of black is very, very bad. Okay. So
playing like Pologaevsky helps.
Yes. Pologaevsky. Improved Pologaevsky.
e7, bishop e7.
So Hou Yifan now is winning.
Yeah, bishop e7. So you can.
Surprisingly, what happened? She had so bad position, but now.
Yeah, we left it on move like 27, where the rook was strapped on a7.
So yes, we have seen this position. So rook b4, and it looked like at least
it looked quite bad for White.
Yeah, but something happened. Queen c2, and now
b8.
Black has many good moves. Queen f6, for example.
He allowed rook a8.
Yikes! Takes.
So he just missed rook a8. Seems probably he had illusions that only move rook a7. Rook e7. So he just missed it, and now
yeah, after rook e7 he is better.
Yes,
but looks like he had to play with the queen to play
queen
somewhere.
f6 very natural.
Queen f6 or queen h4.
Queen h4 also possible, I agree.
Because g3 is not possible due to queen.
Okay, knight
h3.
Knight f3, rook takes c4. So yes, queen h4 probably even more interesting because of knight f3, rook takes c4, queen takes c4, queen takes f2. So after knight f3, okay, so much better for black surely, but okay, queen b8, it's terrible mistake.
Yeah, all these calculations are beyond us.
It's not even this calculation, it's something like eclipse, so he just missed rook a8, and now he's
yeah, queen h4 definitely was much better.
Yes.
See, Magnus is losing. Chat's going crazy.
Magnus is losing?
Say last chat going crazy right now.
Okay, let's
Wow, what is this nonsense?
Okay, let's see. Okay, so okay, very strange choice, knight f1 for me. So
yeah, it was a bit too passive and not in Magnus' style.
Yes. Okay. Almost every strong grandmaster would play knight e4 with hand.
And Magnus is obviously a strong grandmaster.
Yes, I have no doubt about this, but knight f1, it's strange choice for him. I don't know. No.
Is it possible that his tournament situation is making him play a bit more passive than usually, since
okay,
he's not in the lead?
I cannot explain this choice, but okay, knight f1, bishop e6, so e4 played Giri. Okay, e4 I didn't expect, so
this is very sharp because the pawn is pinned.
Yes, but probably his plan, if for example knight g3 to take on f3.
That's crazy.
Rook takes, and sacrifice queen for 2 pieces and create threats. But
well, already rook e1 is kind of a threat, so he's also doing everything with.
Okay, so he played knight g3. Okay, it's probably at the moment black has no direct threat, so white has choice. So many moves can be considered. So probably knight g3 is not the best, because now there is
and knight f2. So did he miss this knight f2?
Rook on a2, but yes, knight h4 he played. So what we have now on the position? Bishop e3.
So computer says that on the move 24, knight takes f2 immediately was even stronger.
Really?
Okay, maybe.
Oh yeah, right here. That's crazy. Did he do that? He did rook takes c2.
Knight takes f2 with idea if rook takes f2, bishop takes d4, queen takes d4, rook e1. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Yes.
Wow, this is beautiful.
Yikes.
Yes, but anyway, what is this?
And if rook takes e8, then just rook e8.
Queen e7 now. Okay, now it's very unusual position. So black has material advantage, but bad coordination of pieces. So surely it's the most interesting game from the tournament which I have seen.
Wow, he got a perpetual.
Knight.
Wow.
Oh, knight h6, very nice.
Yeah, knight h6 was the only.
It's a little bit similar to my game against Joel Lothier in Sicilian Sveshnikov. So this is draw, but it's very, very nice game.
It looked very dangerous for Magnus and probably losing.
Yes.
Oh, they getting Giri in the chat now. Drawing this draw Anish Giri. They're getting him now for the draw again.
Yeah, but this
Okay,
is
but
not. This is not what draw
yes,
Right.
suggests.
This is not
This
his
is
usual.
It was
really,
not a
right?
boring
Yeah,
game at all.
Game.
Exactly.
Yes, not boring.
Right.
Surely not boring. Aronian won even. How?
Aronian one. Just check.
How he won? Okay.
What?
Okay,
Wow,
so many
that's crazy.
unpredictable results today.
Yes. Okay. It's not a big
His
success.
pawn,
He
his
did win
pawn,
that
his
game.
pawn's unleashed. He lost the pawn on a2.
And he didn't take the other ones.
How he lost? Okay.
Ah,
But after rook f2, he should play a3, of course.
yeah, he lost the pawn on a2. He attacked a6 with a bishop.
Oh, okay, but this is
It
very
looked,
strange
but it
choice.
looks just like a blunder because after rook takes a2, the bishop cannot
Oh
take
yeah,
on
he
a6.
can't take on a6. Yeah.
He had some
That must have
illusion
been
that
just a
he.
blunder.
Yes,
Right.
yes, very
Ah,
strange.
maybe what he wanted to do is knight c6, knight
C6,
b4, and 4.
Yes, but
You're right. Why didn't he do it? He didn't even do it, did he? He didn't even do it.
Okay, very
Knight
strange.
Wow.
c6, king d7, knight b4.
Aronian is
Oh, then he goes snatches the other
but
pawns
rook
though.
h2,
I just rook
Four.
e2 and attack on e5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
snatch the other ones.
Yeah, just blundered the pawn and now Aronian won.
So Firouzja lost. Firouzja lost already. How it was.
We left it at move 24.
Yes, after h3, so
Okay.
didn't create attack.
Yeah, so h3 pawn did the job.
Yes. Yes, so Firouzja lost. So what Hou Yifan won. What else we have? How
First win for Hou Yifan.
really? How
Oh,
to
she got
go
the dub.
down? I cannot go down.
Takes, not to reach.
How to go down?
Oh, jeez. What the heck happened?
I want to open game, but they are down. I cannot reach them.
Scroll.
I cannot reach them to see. I want to see. Hou Yifan.
Wow.
I want to see game which is down below Hou Yifan game. Probably some
which
game is still playing. I want to see them, but I cannot reach them. I cannot open. Probably I will refresh. No. Somehow block it. Yes. Yes. So against Artemiev. Still playing.
Yeah, still playing.
So has a real advantage because bishop is much stronger than black knight. So
Knight b8. That is terrible to go knight
excellent
b8.
winning chances for So. Black e7 pawn were weak and f7 weak. So very likely Wesley will win. But Svidler Dubov. Okay, it looks like very close draw.
King h3. Okay, so if bishop b8, just rook
So
b2.
still
Okay.
pawn up for Dubov, but excellent
Bishop g1,
drawing
rook
chances.
b2, Bishop g1, rook b2. Rook f2, rook b3. Hold up.
Unfortunately,
you
there
can't.
is
Rook
no
takes c5.
takes d4, rook takes
Yeah,
d5.
it's nothing. Bishop e3, bishop f6. Dang, everything covered.
Yes, but there is no threat, so white can just wait. For example, bishop c7 is logical. Bishop e3 to have bishop d8.
And then bishop g1, bishop takes c5.
Bishop
Jeez.
g1.
Yeah.
If rook c3,
Okay, so
just king g2.
Black has some chances, but it looks like
Rook a5.
after bishop c7, okay, king g2. Yeah, rook a5 also normal making move, so objectively it must be drawish, but still fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe just bishop to e3.
Bishop e3, bishop f6.
Seems
so you gotta be careful.
kind of a fortress, but
So it's really like king g6, I guess.
Bishop e3, bishop f6.
Yeah, bishop e3, bishop f6. Right?
Okay, king g6 is possible, but there is
Just
no
shuffling.
no, but
threats,
then we
Yeah,
have
it's just shuffling.
rook c5. We have rook c5.
Oh, you're right. Well, you kind of just try to work it, I guess. But there's no progress. I never have to move from h3. Like never, ever.
If king g6, rook b5, this idea if bishop g1 to have rook b2.
e6, rook b5, bishop
Rook
g1,
rook e5.
No, now rook a5 was played. So if king g6, I'm playing it, rook b5 is possible. This idea if bishop g1 to have rook b2, not allow rook h2 check.
Oh, the same thing. Yeah, rook b5,
yeah.
go back to b2. Yeah, it was the same idea. Yeah, there's no progress here. Yeah, nothing going on. That's the last game too. Oh no, we have a.
Yeah, we have still So versus Artemiev going on.
And he got that dub. Yeah, he's probably he's getting a dub here. This should be a dub. Bishop f3.
Okay.
Push.
He's yes.
Yeah, this is over.
He just promote queen. So a6, a7, black cannot defense.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what is that move?
This
That's
is
a
winning
move?
for Wesley.
That's not a real move.
Of course, even bishop. Okay, a7 is the same.
Okay, all right.
Yes, so game is over. So Svidler Dubov. Okay, but it can be quite a long games because black can try some chances. Also possible, we can see rook and bishop against rook.
Oh yeah, that is gonna be long.
It's possible.
And meanwhile, Aronian is now in the sole lead.
Very long.
Aronian, look at him.
Yeah, Aronian is 5.5,
Yes.
while Ding is on 5, and Artemiev after losing remained on 4.5. So So is 4.5.
4.5. Giri and Carlsen on 4.
So we can have Dubov if Dubov manages. Oh wait, what is happening here? This is wrong. Yeah, this is correct. Yeah, if Dubov wins, he will join second shared with Ding. But it's not gonna be easy against the 8-time or 8-time Russian champion, which might be more difficult than winning some world events.
8-time Russian champ. You're gonna try it though. Push it out.
And now after king h5, bishop g7, black is even good.
Oh wow!
Of course, he never played this, but
that's so funny.
Just for illustrate.
King h5, bishop g7. My goodness.
So it's possibility to lose the game.
That's funny. King e6. Shuffle rook b5. Yeah, nothing to see here, folks. Chat.
Yeah, but now rook f1, and if king g2, rook f2, right?
So I see position after rook a6 check, so probably I should refresh.
Maybe I should refresh.
No, I refresh.
Yeah, I think I had the wrong position.
This is on d6. Oh, you see that? Bishop f6.
Wow, this is very creative.
Big piece. Whoa.
Very creative.
Bishop f6. That was like.
In case of take, it's a theoretical draw, right?
Yes, of course.
Yes. Same side. Active king, same side. No way to break through.
Maybe black has something very creative here. No, it should be a draw. Yeah, they probably will agree soon.
Yes, we hope so. Rook takes g5. It's the most elegant play.
Rook takes g5.
Yeah. This is
Rook
very
takes
creative.
g5, bro.
Do you know why, Chad? Do you
That's
know why
funny.
this is creative? Because
is
the king has no
hilarious.
move.
Still.
Rook takes
Yeah.
g5.
Yes.
It's kind of hard to see too because he hasn't done it yet. You know.
Okay,
like
but
definitely
because,
difficult.
all
but
other moves leads to draw. If
draw,
not,
correct.
like,
Correct. Rook takes
Yeah,
g5.
just simple like rook
That's so
d8
funny.
and then just go for checks. The king cannot. Yeah, he didn't see it.
it's okay. Yes, but okay, it's anyway draw.
Now again he had rook
Now
g5.
take the possible.
Same
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, same idea.
Okay, he didn't see this idea, but okay, it's anyway draw.
Yeah, he still knows how to draw here. If rook leaves the second rank, king g2.
Okay,
If rook
everybody
goes
knows.
somewhere there, then rook b8 and just check.
Great job.
Rook b8, the simplest, yes. No chances to win.
He's still being careful. He did not give a check because it can be dangerous if the king comes to the rook.
Takes
Oh,
Doesn't
but
give
he
any
has
chance.
2 minutes. So it's
Luckily,
enough
of course,
to
rook takes f3 doesn't work. That would be cute, right? Rook takes f3, g4, but that's a theoretical, easy draw there. But it would be cool.
Okay. Draw.
Yeah, thanks.
You mean this g4, king g2, yeah.
Yeah, just straight.
Because
straight
the
draw.
black king has no chance to go in front of the pawn.
Sometimes it depends too, of course, if that pawn would have been just a step further. It could have.
Yeah, if the pawn was on f5, it would be
Just a
winning for
step
black,
further,
because
could
then
be
the
a
king
little
goes
better.
in front of the pawn. We saw it yesterday.
King f6. b6. Easy. Oh, again, he has a rook f5 check.
Yeah, rook
takes
f5.
Like...
And now time to play f5.
He can play both rook f5 and rook g5.
Or rook takes g5.
Will he see it?
Yeah, he's really. Yo, I mean, sometimes.
Well,
it's
since
really
he's
hard.
thinking
Okay, rook
now.
g5, rook takes f3. It's also draw after king
Yeah.
h4, but it's okay. Rook f5 is the simplest way. But okay, even rook b3, it's draw.
Yeah, but the only bad move here
Drawish
would be king g4. King g4 here would be a bad move.
Nice.
Because of rook g2 check,
Yes.
king h3,
Yes.
rook g3 check, and
King
then
G3.
it's a gg.
Okay.
Then it's a gg.
Okay. Svidler don't see idea of stalemate, but okay, what he's doing is enough for draw also.
But yeah, he's just making sure to play the right moves. He's just not even looking for that brilliant drawing forcing line. Sometimes you just don't look for it.
What's how many moves they got so far?
Well, he just can't keep the rook on the third
81.
rank.
Okay, 81.
But maybe
Check. 5.
yeah, taking the rook here would be also losing. White cannot go into this pawn endgame. I can also demonstrate why. If takes. White is in Zugzwang after this. Cannot go here, has to go here, and then it's a breakthrough and cannot stop the queen.
'86 move already.
It's like, yeah, pushing it out. Draw. How many moves without a pawn move? Let's check. F3. Wow, guys. So, how you doing, chat? How's it going?
Yeah, but this endgame is very instructive. So you can think of it as a boring one, but you also can look at all the ways how white can spoil it. So it's very like for example, King F1 here. Still a draw, but you should not go for this because there can be a line where the king infiltrates to G3.
Again, Rook G8 and Rook takes G5.
Yeah.
Yes.
Again, it's possible.
Oh, finally.
Come on, Pete. Put us out our misery, please. Come on, Big P.
I'm sure Svidler would have found it in a classical game.
Yes.
But like when you solve puzzles, you know that you need to find something in this very moment. But at the real game, you can be just focused on some ideas that just it's just not the same pattern.
Yes.
You don't see
it.
it.
Okay, hold on. What's going on here now? What are you doing, y'all?
Anyway, it's time to...
Okay, but now the king can go to f5, and if the rook g3, then rook can defend it from a3. It's not a check. So when the king was on g6, then king g4 was losing.
After rook g3, white can just wait. For example, rook b8. Black has no threats.
Yeah. Also, if black takes on f3, we take on g5.
Yeah.
So white even made some progress here.
Yes.
Dang, yeah, he got forward, cut the king off.
Vasily, did you have a game where there was also an obvious move like that to take on g5 to save the game, but your opponent, for example, or you did not see it? Does it happen very often on this level?
Probably I have, but at the moment it's difficult to remember immediately example. But surely everybody has such eclipse.
I remember there was a game from, I think, European European Championship online where white missed the sacrifice and mate in 2 with what is the name of that mate? You will tell me. 2 bishops. When one bishop, for example, is on d6 and one bishop on g6, and it's a mate. So there was like a very
name of this mate.
Like when you sacrifice the queen h6, for example.
They agreed.
Yeah, they agreed on a draw. It's a draw. So we have a short break now.
It could be Boden's.
Boden's mate.
Yeah,
so there was just the sacrifice of a queen on g6 or h6. Pawn takes back, bishop takes, boom, mate, checkmate, and both players missed it, both grandmasters.
Oh,
okay,
wow.
something similar to Holland against Latvia in Scandinavia. Okay, it's happened.
Yeah.
So we have a short break, right?
Yeah. We have a short break, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes.
And we'll come back in 5 minutes.
Okay? Yeah. So we are back.
Good to join you. Good to be back. And here it's been an eventful morning so far. So really looking forward to what we have in store for the next couple of rounds.
Yeah, and we already had a draw apparently.
Yeah, we did draw in this Levon game against Anish. I guess this repetition was bishop e3, knight g4, bishop c1, knight f6. Now I haven't had a chance to look at the standings, but based on what I'm seeing now, it looks like Levon draw was good result for him. He's on 6 points, so he isn't that unhappy with the draw here. And it looks like Anish also 4.5 points. A draw is fine for him, although he apparently missed the win against Magnus, so maybe it's not maybe he's not that happy per se, but it's still a draw with black.
Yeah, I wonder if he knows where did he miss it, or did he not have any chance to look at it. Do you usually have any time to look into your missed chances between the
I
games?
try not to do it in between rounds. Like if it's the first round of the day and it's like a relatively quick game, I have like 15-20 minutes, I might look. And just like if it's a long game, or not long game, sorry, last game of the day, I'll definitely look. But generally in the middle, unless there's like 20 minutes between until the next game, I don't look super closely.
Mm-hmm.
And also, since Chad is asking, Chuki is still here in that his Zoom camera is on, but he got him, and during the break he went to use the restroom or something, and he's not back. So we do have him in the Zoom call. It's just that he's not here right now. So that's all it is. That's the only reason. It's not like he left the call or anything. It's just we see his study, and we're waiting for him to return.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll have him soon with us. Do you want to see any particular game?
Let's see. So I assume the game between Duda and Magnus looks like probably the most interesting game. I mean, I haven't been looking. Let me see. Let's look at the standings. So wait. So Alireza is on 2.5. Gukesh.
Yeah,
so I mean, not much
has
has changed, right?
Yeah.
Wait, did Magnus lose a game or not? He's on 4.
He did lose the very first one to Firouzja.
I know he lost to Levon to start the day. That's why. Okay.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep. He loses the first game of the day, second time already.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. So he's on 4 points. Okay. Yeah. So I guess probably the game between Duda and Magnus looks like probably the most interesting game. Maybe not most interesting, but probably the first game to start with at least.
Yeah.
So it's looks slightly better for white maybe with a big pawn center. Maybe their pushes with c4 e4 at some moment, so maybe white's a little bit better. Maybe like also you can go like queen e2 and rook a1 to put pressure on the pawn on a5. That's also another idea, like just queen e2 rook a1 or something along those lines as well. But actually, I mean, this looks slightly better for white, but nothing too exciting. Maybe let's see. Dubov's game is something weird. Dubov's game is something very weird.
It is always weird. Like when it was not weird.
Yeah, so it's some kind of English. This bishop b2 move. I mean, I think this b3 move on move 6 with bishop b2 is pretty weird. Is my microphone okay? Let me see. Let me just check on one quick thing. But yeah, so it seems a little bit unusual, this knight e5 knight c4 thing. But I think we're gonna have an interesting game here. Yep.
Yeah, definitely. But still no sacks. It's something unusual for Dubov's game. But
yeah,
these both players are quite creative, have very creative styles, so we can expect some fireworks.
Yeah, okay, so then, Artemiev's game is just boring. It's some kind of Artemiev Svidler. It's a symmetrical English. Not very exciting. I mean, it'll probably get exciting later, but it's not a game where there's much to talk about, I would say. What else do we have? We have Adhiban versus Wesley. This is actually kind of interesting. This is similar to the this is very similar to this game I recall from the candidates when Sergei Karyakin won, where he won a game against Vishy Anand on 2016, I believe it was, and he played something very similar in this opening. So this looks quite promising for white, although I feel like maybe he's done something wrong here, because I feel like after queen d6 there probably should have been something better, some clear-cut way to attack. So maybe he's missed something, but it still looks like white should be a little bit better, perhaps. because black has weaknesses on d5 and c5, and then also white has a long diagonal towards g7 as well.
So maybe h5, h6.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, black is a pawn on h6, but yeah, you could go like h5, maybe knight h4 at some moment. But h5 also, yeah, it puts the pawn on a light square where the bishop on e7 can't attack it. So that also makes some sense.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe well, you don't really want to play h6 here and weaken the g6 square, so maybe something else to stop the pawn. Is queen.
Yeah, no, I like the idea here. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, this game I think is going to be very interesting to see what happens. What else do we have? We have Ding Liren against Hou Yifan. Okay,
she did win her first game, so finally nice.
Who did she play against?
She played against Adhiban, and she was struggling a bit after the opening, but then he missed a saving move, which immediately got her in a good position.
Okay. What else do we have? Gukesh against Alireza, I guess, which is just losing for Gukesh. I mean...
that was quick. Move 12. What happened
not sure
here?
why it's
Benko.
losing, but it's apparently losing.
Interesting. So he took on a6. Do you usually take on a6 there, or is it too dangerous?
Take on a6 on which move?
This move 5. That.
Oh, you mean just the classic Benko gambit? Yeah. No, I think it makes complete sense. But a7 is a weird move. I think a7 is not the correct move after a5.
It doesn't look well. He obviously doesn't want to allow the knight to take or bishop to take with developing, but at the same time you're also losing a tempo.
Right. I think black is just winning here because basically the thing is black's just going to move the knight, so you can't take the knight, and yeah, this is just very weird. Very, very, very weird play. But I guess at the end of the day, there's a reason that white is rated 1927. So I guess that kind of makes sense. Maybe it's what it is.
So yeah, just that knight d5 I guess is a threat, and I guess he will just take the pawn and
but very, very disappointing. I think when you look at the junior players especially, you expect them to have very, very solid openings. So it's kind of surprising that Gukesh seemingly, I mean, it's not, I'm sure he knows, he has to know some variation against this Benko gambit, but to just be lost in 12 moves is very, very surprising.
Yeah, a7 was definitely too slow and allowing all this taken on c3 and completely lost his center.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that looks bad. We have Erigaisi versus Vidit, which looks... Apparently this is just losing for black, at least the bar says it is. And I guess that's because black can't castle, so your king is getting stuck in the center of the board. There's going to be some like queen h5 trick. At some point, without castles, your king is stuck in the middle of the board. So I don't know if Vidit's going to lose this game, but it looks very bad for him.
Can he stop this? Well, he cannot castle, obviously, because the queen is guarding f8.
Right.
But...
yeah, I think...
Well, engine suggests queen f8, but is it very...
No, I mean, no, queen f8's not going to happen here.
Yeah, it's not a human move.
Yeah, I mean,
you want
queen
to
f8,
castle,
queen h5,
not to block
and,
it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vidit is thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, so okay, so let's see. So we've taken a look at all the games. I guess, I mean, probably the obvious one to watch is the Magnus game, perhaps.
Yep.
Although it looks like Magnus is doing okay here now, because I think he can go rook b8, rook fb8, and if white trades on c6, he takes back, and if rook a5, white actually loses the game because you play rook takes a5, queen a5, and there's rook b1 check. And you can't move the king to h2 because of the queen on c7. So it's just game over.
Yeah. Yeah, he cannot go here, and he loses a queen.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a good move. Rook b8.
Oh, but Magnus plays rook c8. He doesn't actually play rook b8, which is kind of interesting. I guess his idea here is he just wants to move the knight to b8 and then put pressure on the pawn on c3.
And white, if white takes on a5, then black takes on c3.
Right, exactly, yeah. Well, I don't know, actually. Bishop c6, queen c6. Yeah, queen c6 you have to take, and then, yeah, after trades, queen c3, white can maybe play knight e5, but you assume with the same number of pawns all on the same side of the board, it should be a draw with correct play, although it's happening right now.
Yeah.
Also for chat one more time, the counter of how long Ivanchuk's been missing for is it's getting pretty high now. So we assume he'll show up again, but it's not until he does. That's why we don't have a third camera on. He's been it's up like 15 minutes now or something. So
we did say 5, but we have to wait for a genius. No. Cannot say anything.
Exactly.
So Duda obviously was putting pressure, but I don't think he will be very disappointed with the draw against Magnus, because first of all, Magnus lost already 2 games in the tournament, so he's pretty angry, and when he's angry, you don't want to mess with him and give him any chances. Plus, both of them are currently in the upper half, which means they need to improve their situation, but
I mean, I think it's hard to judge. I mean, I don't know who they've played or have not played, but if you assume, and I feel like just thinking about yesterday, Duda did not play most of the low-rated players or players who are at the bottom of the table. Then a draw is not a bad result at all.
Yeah, exactly.
So this game's going to be a draw. So let's see, what else do we have? We have Dubov's game, however, is going to be exciting. This is going to be an exciting game because players have castled on opposite sides. Black's trying to push the h-pawn and open up the h-file to attack the white king.
Oh, I think we have a legend back.
I'm here.
Hello, how's it going?
So, did not started yet?
I know they started the round, yeah.
They started, and we had already one draw between Aronian and Giri.
So this is the kind of draw. Aronian with white made such a draw, yes?
Well, he is in the lead. He is now on 6 points.
Okay, so so Hikaru is here already.
Yes, I am here. How's it going? You have a good morning?
Hello, Hikaru. Okay.
Oh, it's evening there. It's evening, right? Evening.
Yeah, it is morning for Hikaru. Is it like 6:30?
Yes, I understand, because difference of time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so what we will see, Carlsen, it's endgame already.
Yeah, just probably a draw with correct play.
It looks like draw.
But Magnus probably will push.
Yes,
Magnus always will push for any chances.
Okay, but I mean, he is the bishop, not the knight, so only Duda can push.
Yeah.
No, but probably Dubov's game is the interesting one, I think. This Dubov game versus Salem.
Yeah.
Very, very sharp position. Like, I don't know. What do you think about this position?
Sorry? What I think about which position?
Yeah,
the Dubov game.
Yeah, the Dubov game.
Dubov Salem.
Dubov, okay, it's a quite creative position. So 95. Dubov is void. So okay, black should take and play king a7, f3. Sharp position. Both has their crumbs, so e takes f3.
Yeah, it takes f3 will open up the diagonal.
But I mean, would you take with the rook or with the bishop here? Is the question.
I think with the rook maybe, with idea if h4 to have g4.
Yeah. I mean, I think probably that makes the most sense, because also if you take with the bishop at some point, there's bishop d5 as well if I ever need it. So I kind of agree. Okay, this happened. Yes.
Yeah, if you take with the bishop, then. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, rook takes f3 was already played, so probably black has to play for h4, I guess. Like I don't know. So Vasyl, I mean, my question kind of is, like if I'm looking at this position, I'm looking for the ideas. Let's say I'm black here. I'm trying to play for h4, maybe some bishop d5. But do you look at this position the same way, or are you already trying to calculate long lines here?
Okay, bishop d5 is not possible because rook takes f5. Okay, h4 is logical, but the question is what about h3, g4? Probably he wants to play h3 with some ideas to attack. If g4, h3 on the idea, which I can see in this position, but it needs to be calculated. So white has choice.
So you
White
first look for the move and then you start calculate.
I mean, yes, but also this is rapid, not classical chess. So I think the whole process is very different here. Because I mean, if you have 20 minutes, I think you can do like hard calculation of many moves. But with only like 6 minutes, I mean, you kind of have to do calculation, but you also have to kind of just trust intuition, I think.
Yes.
I don't know, like, yeah.
Okay, but rook d3, it's a strange choice. I would play the g4, so I don't know. Okay, but probably he afraid h3, but after h3 I can take rook takes h3, rook takes, bishop takes f pawn, bishop g2 back, and then rook f1 is coming. Okay, probably Dubov afraid that his king is a little bit opener, but now after bishop e7, black can anyway open h line and quite promising for black.
Yeah, I think actually I like black's position here maybe a little bit more.
Yes, because king of black is a little bit safer.
Yes, also because pawns on d2 and e2. Some point when you push one of them, you create a weakness somewhere.
Yes, that's true also.
Yeah, and white doesn't really have chances to attack the king very quickly. Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost non-existent because at some point at some point there's going to be some bishop d5 to get rid of the bishop, and that's the only problem I think for black. This is bishop on g2.
Bishop d5. Okay, at the moment it's hardly good because rook takes d5, rook takes d5, rook takes f5, something like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, for example, maybe some like rook d3 and then rook d8, maybe with like some g6 and bishop d5. And
bishop d7, sorry, and queen d5.
Yeah, right here, yes, of course. Right here, it doesn't work. Yeah, but at some point, maybe if there's a possibility. But actually, it's hard though because black also is kind of stuck here.
Yes, but h takes g3, it's the most natural, and then to see who will take on g3 and then make choice.
Yeah, probably you take with pawn, I assume.
Okay, after take pawn, okay, some moves.
Can we double the rooks on h file?
Probably not, I don't think, because I mean, how do you do it? Because you can't move the rook from h8 to h6. So I will just there
take
should be
on
something
d8
here.
maybe also always possible.
Yeah, it takes maybe some I don't know, like d4 or e4. I'm not sure which one, but it seems promising for white. It seems hard to play.
Yes, the idea of white that they not allow bishop d5 at the moment. Because if bishop d5, rook takes and rook takes f5 looks unpleasant.
But can white open up everything somehow? Like if the rook if rook h7, we probably can take on d8.
Pawn on
is
c5
d4? Is d4 a move?
Okay, after rook h7 takes on d8 and d4 probably.
b4.
Yeah, it looks very bad for black.
Yeah, you cannot remove the rook from
and also d5. I mean,
yeah, you cannot remove the rook from 8th rank.
Yeah, no, but I mean, but the problem is black doesn't have many moves. I mean, maybe you can play. I don't know. Maybe if queen h. Oh, queen h5 was played.
h5 he played, yes.
Oh, the thing is, there's no threat though. I mean.
Yes, nothing special. So queen h2 check. It's not so serious threat, but okay, it's anyway. It's a little bit annoying. So white need to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
Can
Yeah,
I go
E2
king
is
f2
fine.
here?
Yeah, king
Yeah,
f2.
probably is the best. Yes.
Because you have rook h1. Yeah.
Yes, with idea rook h1. Yes.
So we already need to
Yeah.
remove the queen, probably.
Yeah, I think king f2 makes sense. Okay, trades on
Rook
d8.
takes d8. Okay, now he will take with rook, I think. And
Yeah.
what to do? So rook takes d8, king f2. Now bishop d5 already possible. So after rook takes d8, white need to do something else. Probably d4. Black cannot take cd because queen c7, something like this. Probably this.
But why not bishop d8?
Bishop d8
We can
is
take
also-
with the bishop, and obviously we cannot
Go to
take on
b6
c5.
maybe. Maybe
Yeah,
you can-
obviously white cannot take on c5 because of bishop b6, and it's a pin. But even without it, still bishop b6.
Yeah, bishop takes is very creative. I mean, it must be a computer move.
Yes, but he took with rook.
Yes. Yeah, it's very
King
natural.
F2, but king f2, it's very stupid because bishop d5 now is possible.
Yes.
And
but also I'd be afraid of something like f4 maybe also. I mean,
yes, but
like
bishop d5 looks solid.
Yeah.
And,
yes.
In same time attacking. So it's
Yeah, bishop
Other
d5
two-
is a very good move here.
promising.
Played.
for-
Yep.
Yes.
So white probably has to take. Otherwise, maybe even queen h2 is.
Yes,
a
so
threat.
bishop takes g2. Yes. So okay.
And
it
then
looks-
take on e2.
At least from practical reason, it looks unpleasant position for white.
Yeah, absolutely. Hard to play. I guess, I mean, if time is correct, at least white has Dubov has 9 more minutes on time. So this helps. But yes, definitely it should be easier to play for black.
Yes.
So what do we have any other? Let's see what else is happening in. Okay,
Yeah,
some of these games.
Alireza just won the game.
Yes. What are your thoughts on this game, Vasyl?
Sorry, which game?
The Gukesh against Firouzja.
I need to open just a moment.
Yeah, it was Benko, which did
Okay,
not
let's
work well
see.
for Gukesh.
Oh, so very quickly. So the 23 moves. Okay, let's see. Volga Gambit. Okay. Bit g6, e4 castle, queen a5. It's theory. a7, but okay, it's very. Everybody knows that this is losing move because knight takes e4. So it's. So he
That's the
just.
answer. Everybody
Oh,
knows.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, except for Gukesh, obviously.
Yes. Okay. Maybe he knew it but forgot or something like this. There is theory with a7, but a7 here is possible.
In which?
Instead of knight f3. A7.
Yeah, move 8. Yeah.
a7, knight f3. But according
Okay.
to theory, I will show the slide. a7. There are such games. And now queen a5 has no sense because bishop d2 with threat knight b5. So according to theory e6, bishop e2, e takes d5. If e5 knight e4, if e takes d5, d6, castle, knight a6, and black has compensation for the pawn. This is theory. But he played a7 in wrong moment, and this is losing according to theory, which Firouzja was had pleasure to demonstrate. Okay, so it's quite. So what is Chinese game?
Ding versus Hu Yifan. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, looks like drawish. Maybe white is slightly better, but okay, it's very close for draw. Okay, what else we have? So now it's okay.
Actually, Dubov made some huge blunder. Wait, what did Dubov do?
Dubov. But how to open? I cannot open. So
no, but queen c4 is insane.
Yes, but I cannot open game.
Maybe refresh.
Refresh. Okay, refresh.
Yeah, queen c4. He
Yes,
just
yes.
gave up a
Good.
bishop.
Queen C. Okay, so he is pawn down already. Or
Yeah,
what?
but isn't rook e5, queen g8, bishop f8 just winning? I mean, queen f8, rook e8. I mean,
Sorry. So now I see position
Bishop
after
f8, queen.
So
Yeah.
white
So
is pawn down.
yeah.
rook
You're right, but
e8.
if you go back to move 26, black could just take the bishop and win the game. I
White
think.
is pawn down and bishop is up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so move 26.
Move 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, rook takes
take
e5.
Bishop. And bishop f8.
Yeah, he missed bishop f8
Yes, it looks like.
resource, and then e2 is.
Yes.
They cannot defend it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, but what's going on now? White can play what, queen e6 or something?
Queen e6. Queen e6, queen e8.
Yeah, it's
like
still a
logic.
pawn. It's still one pawn. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A pawn is a pawn.
Yep.
And it's not opposite colored bishops.
And,
So
in some moments, c4 will be threatened. Bishop b4.
Yeah, no, I
Not
mean probably
opposite,
still
same
still should be
color
very good for
bishop.
Salem.
yeah, c4 is a nice idea with bishop b4 check.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe white needs to trade the bishop.
Okay, bishop e5 maybe. Okay, it's still playing, but bad position. Pawn down. Okay. Bishop e5.
e5, probably c4.
No, immediately bishop e5.
Yeah, immediately. No queen e6, just bishop e5 right away here.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean there's still some drawing chances maybe, I think.
Yes.
Especially with the time.
Okay, so what is Artemiev against Svidler? Okay, so
And
white.
Duda versus Carlsen finished in a draw.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
okay, it wasn't a surprising result in this endgame. So Svidler Artemiev, okay, it's up 40,
Mhm.
but it's good compensation to bishop. Okay, draw is more or less predictable result. Okay, what about Wesley So?
He's
This is,
okay, he's up a pawn in
he
an
has
endgame,
pawn
but should
up.
be a draw.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, but it has to be a draw
Armenian
practically. Because it's wrong color pawn. It's the wrong color H pawn. So practically it must be a draw, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's dark squared bishop. And also the knight.
Yes,
white needs to activate the knight.
Mm-hmm.
It's still probably better for Wesley until white improves.
Yeah, I mean Wesley will try to win. I mean with correct play, it's obviously a draw, but I mean a lot of work to do here.
Okay, pawn up. We'll try without any risk, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And trading the queens, is it in favor of black here?
So okay, queen e4 trade, f3, king f5, something like this. I mean, it should be a draw still after f takes king e4, but
yes, because in some moment white can give knight.
Yeah, like knight g4. Yeah, knight g4. Yes, yeah, something like knight g4. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, knight f3. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
G4. Okay, it's drawish because it's important that bishop has wrong color.
Mm-hmm.
So white has too many drawish chances.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I think it should be. It has to be a draw.
Yes, it should be draw, of course. Okay,
Right.
what else?
Yeah, he gives a check on e4.
Oh, we have Vidit, who is still should be losing somehow, but
Vidit, I cannot open game of Vidit. Okay, we'll try.
It's the last one.
Last, but I don't know how to. My mouse cannot go down after Ding Liren Hou Yifan. I don't know how to improve it, how to see.
Can you see game 63, 64 above?
Sorry?
Above, do you see there is like game 64, 63 and two arrows to the left and to the right? At the top of the screen.
I don't understand what you mean.
Maybe just refresh and it will.
Yeah, maybe just refresh. Yes.
Yes, I just refresh it. But yes, but I refresh it, but I can only see 6 games. So from Aronian Giri till
Okay.
Ding Liren Hou Yifan. So I cannot go down with my mouse. How to do it?
Yeah, strange.
Yeah. So okay, in the Wesley game, I see computer says this is losing for white for some reason. I don't really understand why.
Who is losing?
I mean, they're saying that, I mean, the computer gives us is winning for black, and I'm not sure why. This current position after G4, Queen E4, Queen F3. Because I think maybe white can, black can trade and go bishop E5. Yeah, he sees it.
Because of bad knight.
Yes.
Now king takes F5 and bishop
And
F4.
you just bishop F4. You just resign.
Yes, yes.
Bishop
Oh,
F4.
yeah.
Yes, bishop
Yeah,
F4
losing.
now,
Yeah.
and game is over.
Zugzwang. It's called Zugzwang chat.
Yes, yes, yes.
That is very bad. With 4 minutes on the clock, that's very bad.
So Wesley takes his time.
Yes,
So what exactly happened after Queen E4 check?
Knight
He
is
played
trapped.
Queen F3.
No, but I mean, you have to go knight F1 after bishop E5. I mean,
So,
crazy.
White can take on E4 and play F4, for example.
Yeah, yeah, also.
F3,
Or F3 or
sure.
F3, yeah.
Yeah, probably F3 is safest, yes.
Yeah, that's what we talked about it
Okay, but
before.
still King G5, King F4. It's
Yeah,
still...
this was the best way.
Oh,
Well,
no.
King G5, yeah, it still looks dangerous because this knight is
F3,
not
E3,
very
F4.
active. Yeah, he played
No, it's
bishop
still
F4.
dangerous, yeah.
He played this.
And
yes.
yeah, Adhiban just resigned.
Yes. Oh, he is totally okay.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Yes,
this is
okay.
terrible.
So yes, Chinese endgame it's drawish.
Yeah, but I mean, black has to be better, if anything, because the bishop is better than the knight. Knight has no squares. D4 and E3 are covered.
Oh, I don't think so. Oh, okay.
Yeah, this
Okay,
knight. But maybe if you put the knight to...
If king takes d5 and then if they occupy f5 square for king, it can be, but with accurate play of white. Okay,
Oh, but okay, but
position, in my
F6
opinion.
F6 can't be right. No, F6 cannot be right here because with the trade of pawns, now white must be able to draw somehow. I think.
Okay, so but how to me to see the games? Yes, I have. I found possibility. So Vidit, Vidit. Wow, very interesting position. He has A2 pawn.
Always dangerous in the time trouble.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think if anything, it might be easier to play for black here.
Yeah,
Even though black is down the pawn, because the pawn on A2 is very. It's a big
Yes.
problem.
But all these checks are also coming. He probably can just hide the queen, the king behind the G pawn.
Yeah, probably black goes rook A. I mean, like rook D2, rook A7, and then run the king to G8 and just wait.
But now maybe rook D2. Yeah, rook G2. He wanted to
rook
attack the
A7,
pawn
yeah.
again,
Mhm.
and rook A7. And how to progress here for
Yeah, rook A7.
either?
looks very
Well,
good.
white obviously has a plan to advance the
Rook
pawns,
C7.
and
I need
Mhm.
yeah, white probably wants to advance the pawns and create
Yes,
a
but-
passed pawn, but then the queen is too far.
Wait. But can just wait. Rook C2.
Okay, queen
Queen
B3, rook
B3.
C1, probably. Yeah, I think probably you just wait. King F8, G8.
B2, I don't.
You want to make draw after queen B3, rook B2. Yeah, also. Yes.
Yeah, rook C2 was with the idea to open up the
Mhm.
G7 square, right?
Yeah, but I mean, still, if you go after queen b3, rook c1, black just runs the king to g8. It's king f8, g8, and I don't know how white can do anything because the queen is stuck on a1.
Yeah,
Yes, and
queen
now,
is
yes.
stuck. You would prefer to switch it with the rook, right?
Oh, yeah, you
But
want a
you
rook
cannot.
on a1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even advancing the pawns will not create much threat because the black queen is so much more active.
Yeah, I mean, you just have a queen that's not doing anything on
We
a1.
play
It's just
g4,
stuck
we
there.
immediately lose probably with something like queen f3 simply.
F3, h3, yes.
Yeah. Well, now white has a chance to bring out the queen.
Queen e5. Queen b1.
Maybe that's a chance.
Complicated.
It is. It's scary. Scary to remove the queen. What if you blunder? Yeah, something like... But now rook b1.
Oh, rook takes queen. Rook takes queen.
Rook b1.
No. I mean, what is this? Now queen takes a2. No.
Yeah,
I mean,
he blundered because
no, queen takes a2.
because it's not a check. Yeah. He had an illusion that he's winning, but the king just left the first rank, so it's not a check anymore.
Yeah, you just resigned.
Yes, 2 pawns up.
Wow. It was like 1 minute for Vidit against 15 seconds for Erigaisi. It's crazy.
Yes, but this is very easy to win.
Yeah, I mean, split pawns even. Yeah, I mean, it's, yeah. Wow.
Grandmaster's disappointed.
Yes, so what about... so still playing.
Yes, still
Okay,
playing. I
good
don't know
to
what is more
know.
disappointing, to throw it this way or to keep playing with this theoretically completely hopeless position.
No, I mean, you obviously should just resign here, probably.
But maybe he put some pressure on Arjun to prove that he knows how to win it.
No, but I mean, this is the thing, though. In a couple of these games, it's very strange. Like Adhiban had 4 minutes when he played this whole thing against Wesley with trading queens and going king after knight g4. He didn't use any time. And also Vidit, same thing. He had like a minute, and he just makes these moves without thinking. It's queen b3 and queen b1. So it's very, very strange.
Yeah, but sometimes you just need to calm down, and maybe he's just making these moves automatically, just trying to, because the next game will not start for him until in 5 minutes, right? In 5 minutes time. So maybe he wants to just calm down.
Yeah, but I mean, still.
Yeah, it's
very, very, very bad time management. Very, very bad time management.
Yeah, and also he did not manage to win that game yesterday against Giri, where we all were pestering him for putting the king on the same line with the queen and losing that queen, but it was not as easy as it looked.
Right.
But still, if he looked at that game afterwards, probably also was very disappointed.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's these events are difficult. But actually, but you didn't play any of the events, did you, Vasyl? Have you played any of the online events?
One of them, yeah.
Okay.
Armageddon?
No, you played in one of the Magnus
I don't
events,
understand
right?
the question.
No, did you play any of these Champions Tour tournaments?
Yeah, I played Legend tournaments, yes.
Legends,
Okay.
yeah, Legends in
Yeah.
August last year.
Legends.
Right.
Yeah, they should have invited Vasily. He sees everything much better than these grandmasters.
But it's difficult, of course. Not so many places. It's always the problem.
Yeah.
So are you playing the World Cup? What are your plans with chess for the next 6 months or the next year?
I'm not. I refuse it to play World Cup. So I am quite free. So if there are any invitation, I would be interested. Especially for online tournaments. About traveling, not so because a specific situation in the world.
Right.
Yeah, it's hard to expect.
online tournament, yeah, I'm really happy to.
Hmm.
Good.
So maybe Hikaru Invitational.
Maybe, who knows?
Okay, so he is talking.
Yeah, I mean, okay, this.
Okay. So is it last round for today or not?
No, there's still 2 more rounds, I think. Yeah, this is over. Okay, nothing.
Okay.
Not
G4,
quite yet.
okay,
Not quite yet.
Yeah, rook b6. Okay, it's, I mean, nothing to say. But
Yeah.
Dubov's game, what happened? Dubov is losing, right? Yeah, he's just losing.
Oh, just a moment, Dubov, I will see. Dubov. Okay, 2 points down.
Just losing, yes.
Looks like
Well, I was curious, what are your thoughts on Dubov? Because he plays very creative chess, but it seems like sometimes when he gets just positions where he has to make he has to be very solid and not there are no like tactile ideas, or you can't play super creatively. He struggles. So I mean, do you think that's a problem for him, that he tries to be too creative?
okay, it's his personal choice. Probably he wants not only get the points, maybe he wants to impress chess world with his original play, and probably in some online tournament he is not too much worried about results, so he wants to make some experiments maybe. But okay, it's I'm not sure about such conclusion. But
Okay.
I need to admit that his games, it's very interesting to see.
Yeah.
And moves difficult to predict, even consider. But not always these moves are good. That's problem.
Yeah, but he obviously also had very interesting.
For example, King B1, who will consider even such a move? Yes, okay. It looks like very bad, but okay. Any moves is bad in this position, but King B1, it's Dubov style. But okay, everything is winning for black.
Yeah, you can just take on d2. There is no chance to have a perpetual here.
Right.
But you can pretend. You can pretend, and he made Salem thinking, and Salem did not take the rook.
Yeah, f3 is simple too. Yeah. Yeah, just rook g1 and queen e2. Yeah, just rook g1 and queen takes e2. No nonsense. So yeah.
Queen takes e2 is queen c5 and rook d8, but rook takes e2 is good. Rook g1 is good.
Yeah. So you take it with a check. Yeah.
E2 with check. Yes. Yes. Game's over.
Or you can also give a check maybe on e5.
Yeah, but he already resigned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dubov plays like with this creative style even over the board. We saw a lot of crazy games in the Russian championship, but obviously a lot of that was a prep. So how much prep would he use online? What do you think?
I mean, who knows? Who knows? I think it's hard to tell.
Yeah, especially in his case.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think, but it's interesting to see players like him or players like Alireza. They seem to play a lot of openings, a lot of creativity. I mean, I was gonna ask you, Chugi, what are your thoughts on Alireza?
My conclusions about Alireza. Okay, I think that during last times he became quite solid player, so he tries to play very solid chess.
Do you think that's good for him or not? Because he's struggled in quite a few tournaments. Like he hasn't had many good results lately.
I think it's quite good. At least he is trying to make his style more solid. This is important if he wants to struggle with the strongest opponent in the world, I think.
Yeah. All right, so I think that's all the games, right, for this round?
Sorry,
So,
I not.
Yeah.
I think we're done with this round. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yes.
Aronian is in the lead, with Ding and So following him, and Artemiev with 5 behind them. Well, Carlsen still needs to try to improve, or do you think he will not try to risk and...
It depends on the pairings. I think actually this is a question for Vasyl, which is that when you play in these tournaments, let's say right now you're Magnus and you have 4.5 points, are you really looking and seeing, like, let's just say you have to play against Gukesh or Yifan or players at the bottom of the table? Are you keeping that in mind when you play games? So like you don't mind a draw against like Levon or other players, or are you just playing it, game by game?
Okay, at least in this tournament it looks that Carlsen is not in good shape, so he's making many strange moves, and he's very strong part to utilize his chances, but in this tournament, okay, something wrong with this. Because of this, he is not amongst of leading, and even to qualify to first 8, it looks like problematical for him now.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Not hopeless yet, but surely not easy task. And because he, not only because of number of points, but okay, he don't demonstrate his
his true
real
power.
his stability, too many mistakes, and not good level of realizing his own chances. Okay, it's just my opinion. Okay, maybe I am not true, but it seems that he is not in good shape. Probably he is tired, probably some other problem. Okay, it's not possible always to play very good, but it's hard tournament for him somehow.
No.
Yeah, but he also played
possible.
a lot of stronger opponents of this tournament. He started with Alireza, and today he started playing with Aronian. So
he lost.
Maybe his Magneto strength will still come back.
Yeah, I mean, if he plays players who are doing badly at the bottom of the table, then I think he has very good chances.
Mm-hmm. But the next game will be against Dubov, so that is going to be a treat.
So, okay, will be interesting.
Yeah, that is going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
Also, So against Ding, they are second and third places, so it's always interesting.
Exactly, yeah.
And we did against Aronian, so yeah, we did just lost very unpleasantly after pushing the entire game. So we'll see. He might not mind a draw, and Aronian definitely will not mind a draw, but
no, but I mean, if you're down at the bottom, you have to play to win now. I mean, if you're Vidit, Gukesh, Alireza, you have to play to win. There are too many people ahead of you. I mean, okay, if a game's a draw, it's a draw, but you have to play. I mean, you're not happy with it. You're not happy here with a draw generally.
Oh yeah, right. Also, Magnus will play against Artemiev in the next game, so no rest for him.
Yeah, and actually, I mean, one last question I wanted to ask Shuki, because I mean, you're a legend. You've been around for such a long time. Did you find the players like the Karpovs and Kasparovs more challenging to play against than someone like Carlsen or like Anand? Or I mean, how do you feel with the world champions that you've played against over time? Who are the most difficult ones to play?
It's very difficult to compare because very difficult, very different type of preparation was. So when played Kasparov and Karpov, it was preparation without computers, and now it's many ideas. Was checked by computers and even was found with computers. So it's very it's difficult attitude. It's more accurately need to check everything is opening. So this is very special work of chess. But okay, who is strong if without computer? Okay, also depends of in which time of career. So everybody had their best period, their not so good period. Okay, but very difficult to say. And also my perception of chess now and 20 years ago, for example, it's not the same. So, but I need to just admit that for me it's really interesting to play with against younger generations. But I feel it even gives me some inspiration to work to create my ideas. Usually what I'm doing still without computer. Okay, if I have feelings that position is complicated, I'm asking some of my friends, please check it with computer.
Right. Yeah.
But probably very
before
rarely.
I'm making my own, at least short analysis and my own conclusions, and this is interesting or this is dubious or something like this.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I guess that's kind of it for right now, right, Maria?
I want to thank Vasyl so much for joining us. Of course, for us, for much lower rated players, it was very difficult sometimes to understand what's going on and to follow the lines even, but it's always very impressive to see this great mind at work, how quickly you were seeing all the lines, all the ideas, regardless of whether it requires calculation or just intuition. It's just really impressive. Like, we are just amazed, and the whole chat was like we have currently 10,000 people watching, and they were just amazed with Vasyl.
Okay, so thank you for invitation. It was pleasure to speak with you.
It's great having you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Thank you,
I
Vasyl.
can go already. See.
Yeah, and of course, it's always a pleasure to be together with the man himself, Hikaru. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to be the host for the first halves, and I'm really looking forward to be back on Tuesday, and I will see you again sometime.